हरि ओम गुरु।
ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ख्यपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम। So namaste once again everyone. रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दखे पौरुषं नृषु. So we are seeing the 8th sloka of the 7th chapter. And in this chapter, Bhagavan Krishna is imparting the knowledge of Ishvara Swarupam to Arjuna, and through Arjuna to all of us. A proper understanding of the nature of Bhagavan or Ishvara is very crucial for progressing in the spiritual path. Because everybody has got their own idea of what Bhagavan or what God is. So when we come to Vedanta, we come with all our preconceived notions about Bhagavan. But here Krishna very authentically says, if you understand this, what is the Ishvara Swarupa, then it is a correct understanding. And Krishna is unfolding this knowledge slowly and systematically. Till now, we have been told that the world is made of two beginningless and endless entities, Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti, the consciousness principle and the matter principle. And when we are told in general terms that Ishvara is the cause of the world and everything in the world is Ishvara only, we will just nod our head. Yes, yes, I understand. Everything in the world is Ishvara only. We will say, okay. And then we will continue to view the world as we were viewing it before. We will continue to view the objects, the persons, the situations as the cause of our happiness or sorrow. and we'll try to change the world to suit our likes and dislikes, and then get trapped in the samsara chakra. So, after talking about Ishvara Swarupam in general terms, Krishna is now enumerating some important forms of his nature as Ishvara. So, after declaring to Arjuna that there was no other cause of the world other than himself, and that Bhagavan is the thread inherent in the creation, in the mala which you can imagine as the creation, in this and the following verses. So Krishna's idea is not just to impart the knowledge. Krishna's aim is for us to bring about an attitudinal change. He says, discard all your previous understanding of what Ishvara is based upon your knowledge or your study of Puranas, Itihasa, etc. Now you have all graduated to Smriti Grantha, Bhagavad Gita, which is nothing but a condensed form of the message of the Upanishads. So Krishna says, by understanding the real nature or Swarupa of Ishvara, you should bring about an attitudinal change. Use your free will to bring about this change in your attitude of attitude in understanding what Ishvara is, what the world is, and what you, a jiva, is. So he says, Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Arjuna, when you drink water, you don't just look upon it as water which is quenching your thirst, but look upon it as the very essence because of which you are alive. That very essence, remember, is me, Ishvara. Where rasaha means the essence of water. Of course, rasaha apsu means essence in water. The very basic taste of water is called rasaha. That essence I am. And that is why in the early morning when we do Sandhya Vandanam, we worship water. First thing, we worship water. We worship the sun, we worship water. Those who do Sandhya Vandanam will know. Apo va idagum sarvam vishwa bhutanyapah prana va apah pashava apo namapo amritamapah samradapo viradapah स्वराडापश्चंदा गुंस्यापो ज्योति गुंस्यापो यजो गुंस्यापो आपः सर्वदेवता आपो भूर्भुवस्व स्वरोम भूर्भुवस्व om. Every day morning, people who do regular Sandhya Vandanam, they will chant this. So apah means water. Then there is another mantra they chant doing prokshanam. Apo hishtamayo bhuvah tana urje dadatana, etc. Oh waters, you are not just waters, you are the Lord. And oh Lord, bless me with that knowledge. So that I will be able to look at everything as Ishvara Swarupa. In fact, that is my destination. The ultimate goal of my life is learning to look at everything as God. Therefore, he says, Hey Kaunteya, Aham apsu rasaha asmi, Shashi Suryayoho prabha asmi. I am the light, the radiance, the brilliance in the sun and the moon. Shashi means, as you all know, moon. Surya means the sun. Prabha means brilliance. In fact, this brilliance or light alone is worshipped in the most famous Gayatri mantra, which is considered to be the essence of all four Vedas. That Gayatri mantra is a prayer addressed to the light in the sun. the light symbolizing the consciousness principle, para prakriti. That consciousness principle which you are. And when we actually do Sandhya Vandanam, we say this, Asau Aditya Surya hai, Asau Aditya Brahma, Brahmaivaha Aham Asmi. So when we are about to do offer oblations to the Surya, we are visualizing Brahman in the Surya. It is not merely we are offering oblations to the Surya Bhagavan, but through Surya Bhagavan, we are offering oblation to that Brahma Swarupa of Surya Bhagavan, to the very Brahman, which is nothing but you. And further, the Gayatri Mantra says, Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargah. Bhargah means Prabha, brilliance, radiance. Actually, literally, Bhargah means destroyer of darkness. That is the literal meaning, grammatical meaning. But here, because the brilliance, the radiance of the sun destroys all darkness, not only the physical darkness, but also the darkness from our mind in the form of ignorance. So I am worshipping that brilliance of the rising sun, which represents the Lord, and because of which light of consciousness alone, Diyo Yonaf Prachodayat. That consciousness alone makes my inert brain into a live knowing instrument. Therefore, I look upon the brilliance in the sunlight and moonlight, Shashi Surya Yoho Prabha, also as Bhagavan. Then he says, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. I am the Pranava. Pranava means Onkara. And Onkara is considered to be the essence of all the Vedas. So Vedas are condensed at three levels. The first level of condensation is Gayatri Mantra. And that is why, chanting the Gayatri Mantra is equivalent to chanting of the whole Vedas. We have the entire Veda Parayanam when you chant Gayatri. Just imagine every day, 3 times Sandhya Vandanam, morning 108 Gayatri, afternoon during Madhyanam 32 Gayatri, Sayam Sandhya 64 Gayatri, you chant with full understanding of the meaning. How many times Veda Parayanam you are doing in a day? And day after day, you are doing this Veda Parayanam. And that is why it is said in the Shastras, whatever else you do or not, whatever puja you do or not, if you are a Dvija, if you have gone through the Upanayanam ceremony, the one thing you should compulsorily do is Trikala Sandhya Vandanam. Trikala Sandhya Vandanam, if you do, you don't need to do anything else. You don't need to go to temples. You don't need to go to pilgrimage, nothing. That much power as Gayatri Mantra has got when you chant this Gayatri Mantra while doing Sandhya Vandana. See, all these are all so beautifully, presented in our Shastras. All that we need to do is follow them. That's all. So this is the first level of condensation into Gayatri Mantra. Condensation of all the 4 Vedas. Then later, the Gayatri is further condensed into Vyahriti. What is Vyahriti? Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. That mantra. When we say Om, Bhur, Bhuva, Suva, Rom, that is Vyahriti. So Veda is condensed first level Gayatri. Gayatri is condensed into Vyahriti, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. And later, the Vyahriti is also further condensed and that is A, U, M. Joined together, it becomes Om. So you forget, I mean, suppose you are not able to chant Gayatri, you are bedridden, you are not unable to take your bath, you are not able to do Sandhya Vandana, lying on the bed. At least in your mind, you can keep on chanting Om, 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 right? That doesn't require anything else. Close your eyes, lie down and say Om, 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 and just see, just experience how calm your mind becomes by just this Om chanting. And that is why, in every session of yogasanas, Om chanting is a very integral part. Of course, there the teachers train us to do Om chanting, but we are supposed to do not just at the time of doing the yogasana. Every movement in our mind, this Om chanting should keep on going. That means you are totally in touch with Vedas every movement of your life. So eventually, Veda is condensed as Omkara, and Omkara diluted is Veda. Like, you have got we go for some fruit juice and all, they will write condensed fruit juice. So what you do, you take one or two tablespoon of that juice, pour water, and then you can serve it to a lot of people. Only one bottle of condensed juice, go on adding water, because it is supposed to be the condensed juice is supposed to be the sara. Very beautifully said. Yo vedadau swara prokto vedante cha pratishtitah tasya prakriti linasya yaparasya maheshwarah. This is the Veda, Anta, everything, both Upanishad, that Swara, the Om, is the end all of Vedas. Sara of Vedas, the essence of all the Vedas. And Krishna says that Omkara is also me only. Sarva Vedeshu Pranavaha. So when you are actually chanting Om, you are with Krishna. Or when you are remembering Krishna, you are actually remembering Om, the entire Vedas. Then he says, Shabdaha Khe. I am the essence of all pervading space, which is Shabda Tattvam, the sound principle. The sound principle is supposed to be the essential nature of Akasha. So I am Khe Akashe Shabdaha. And that is called Shabda Brahman. In fact, some scientists who have actually done some research, they talk about the sound in the space. I don't know whether I mentioned it earlier in one of the classes, not Bhagavad Gita. There was one movie, people of my generation probably would have seen that. That movie is called 2001 Space Odyssey. That movie came somewhere in the late 70s or early 80s. I don't remember exact date. But that movie opens with, the complete visualization of the space, and the background music is Om. And that Om is supposed to be the primordial sound of this entire universe. So there are so many connections, if you go deep into it, we can understand and establish so many connections. So that is Omkara, Sarva Vedeshu Pranavaha. Then Paurusham Nrushu Asmi. I am the very manliness. Here manliness, we can take it as humanness in every human being. I am that essential nature which makes a human being a human being. That essential nature I am. So that was the 8th sloka. Now, next sloka. Punyo gandha pritivyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. The Anvaya of this sloka is cha punyah gandha pritivyam asmi cha tejah asmi vibhavasau जीवनम सर्वभूतेषु च tapah asmi tapasvishu. So he says cha. Here cha does not mean and. We must take it as kincha, moreover. Punyah gandaha. I am the fragrance. Prithvyam, in the earth. Cha tejah asmi, and I am the heat. Vibhavasau, in the fire. Jivanam, I am the life. Sarva bhuteshu, in all beings. Cha tapaha asmi, and I am the austerity. Tapasvishu, in ascetics. So he says, moreover, I am the fragrance in the earth, I am the heat in the fire, I am the life in all beings, and I am the austerity in ascetics. So this description of Krishna as Ishvara Swarupam, it goes right up to the 11th chapter where we come the full display of Vishwarupa Swarupam. So slowly, Krishna is unraveling the secret of what is Ishvara. So you learn to see Ishvara in every aspect of your life. Not just in the probably the photos which you have got in your altar at your home, or you go to the temple and you see Bhagavan, in the form of idols, etc. They are also Ishvara only. I'm not saying they are not. When I say everything is Ishvara, the photo is Ishvara, idol is Ishvara, frame is Ishvara, everything is Ishvara only. So we have to learn to see everything as Ishvara. That is the beauty of our culture. This you will not find anywhere else in the world, in the entire universe, this type of culture. This type of relating to Bhagavan. So, punyah gandha prithvyam. The essential nature of Prithvi, the earth, is its fragrance or smell. And that is the speciality of earth. Because amongst the 5 elements, earth alone has got gandha guna. The other 4 elements do not have gandha. Akasha has got only 1 guna, shabda guna. Vayu has got 2 gunas, shabda and sparsha. Sparsha means touch. Agni has got 3 gunas, shabda, sparsha and rupam. Visibility is there, you can see the form of Agni. Jalam has got 4 gunas, shabda, sparsha, rupa and rasa. Taste is there. A unique taste is there for water. And Prithvi has got all the 5 gunas. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, fragrance, which is the unique guna only for the earth. Other 4 elements cannot have gandha. Pure water does not have gandha. If you say, no, the water which I am drinking has got some smell, it is not because of the water. The smell is not from the water. It is because the water you are drinking is probably mixed with all kinds of chlorine and things like that and all. So you get the smell of the chlorine. So pure water has gandha hai. Sorry, does not have gandha. So Prithvi has got gandha. So here also Krishna is very careful, because when we talk of smell, there are two types of smell. Krishna carefully says, I am the fragrance. Of course, this is only because he is introducing this. Even bad smell also, when I say everything is Bhagavan, even bad smell also, foul smell also is a Swarup of Bhagavan only. But here, since he is referring to the earth, he says, I am the fragrance in the earth. Because the earth by itself is fragrant. Only because of we keep polluting the earth that it has got all the foul smell. It is our doing. In fact, you go to the mountains and all, which is untouched by human habitation. Even animals do not pollute the earth. You can see the fragrance of the earth. You can experience the fragrance of the earth. And even here also, many times, if you are living in a sort of a remote area with lot of soil, mud, etc., not tar roads, when you have the first rains in the monsoon, you get the very beautiful smell, beautiful fragrance that comes from that soil. You will not get this in the cities and all, which are covered, as I said, with tar roads and buildings and cement, etc. But in villages, wherever a lot of mud soil is there, when the first rain comes, you can experience that beautiful fragrance. And therefore he says, I am the vasana. Vasana in this here is means the fragrance in the Prithvi. Gandha hai, I am the gandha hai in the Prithvi. Then vibhavasau tejaha asmi. Vibhavasau. Vibhavasau is Agni Tattva. Tejaha means the heat principle in the fire. So essential nature of fire is heat. Even the form and color may not be available all the time. For example, if we do a homa at home, yajna, and we have offered a lot of oblations and things like that and all. But what will happen? The blazing fire which was there, it will go down. Only some smoke will come. We can't see fire. Everything is covered with all sorts of other materials, the firewood, etc. But you cannot go and touch that fire thinking there is no fire. Heat will still be there. So even though we cannot see the form of fire or the color of the fire, heat is the essence, so it will always be there in fire. Similarly, like hot water, you cannot see the fire, but you can feel the heat of the fire, and therefore tejaha, the heat, and that heat principle I am. And then he says, Jivanam sarva bhuteshu, the very life principle, because of which a living being is a living being, without which a living being is a dead corpse. That life principle I am. Deho devalaya proktaha, jivo devas sanatanaha. And that is why the basics of our religion is respect all life principles. And as I said, that is the uniqueness of our religion. And that is why, if you are a true Hindu, a true follower of a Hindu religion, you will eat only vegetables which Bhagavan has given as aushadhi. You will not kill animals for your food. Because in many other religions, they think all living beings are meant only for one purpose. Swaha. for our consumption. All living beings except human beings. Huh? Of course, some tribes, what they call cannibals, they eat human beings also, one step ahead than all others. And they have got a very convenient philosophy. So, according to them, Bhagavan has created all animals and plants for our consumption. And if they want to protect the animals and plants, it is not because of respect for life, but for the sake of our consumption and enjoyment. And Puja Swamiji actually says, he brings out a very beautiful point. Why animals are not made for our consumption and only plants are made for our consumption. He says, first of all, when you go and kill an animal for eating, you don't ask the permission of the animal, isn't it? If the animal says, okay, you can kill me and eat me also, it may be acceptable. But he says the main difference between animals and plants is animals are mobile. When you go to kill them, they will run away. God has given them 4 legs, or some of them 2 legs. You can't catch hold of them and kill them unless, of course, you use some gun, etc., to kill them. Whereas plants are meant for our food because you can go and cut the plant cannot run away. And in fact, plants serving as our food, it is actually exhausting his papa karmas of the previous human births. That's why they say that the people who are totally miserly, conjuice people, who have got lot of wealth, but they don't part with their wealth to anybody. In some janma, because of the papa that they accumulate, they are so far away from dharma. Because of the papa, they will be reborn as plants. Because plants, whatever they produce, whether it is vegetables or fruits or leaves, they can't consume themselves, but they have to give it to the other, whether it is animals or human beings, only they can consume. So if you have not given in this janma, remember, there will be a janma where you will be forced to give everything that you produce and you will not be able to consume that. Anyhow, I strayed away from the topic. So anyhow, what I wanted to say is, in our religion, in Hinduism, this ecological protection is talked about in the Shastras itself. Because every plant has got life principle. It is a jiva. Atma Tattvam is there. So therefore he says that Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. Sarva Bhuteshu includes everything. All living beings. Then he says, Tapasvishu tapahacha asmi. Among the human beings, there are some who are more evolved. In the previous verse, he talked about the general human beings. Paurusham Nrushu. Nrushu means human being in general, common human beings. But even among them, there are some evolved beings. And they are called tapasvinaha. Because of their tapas, because of their perseverance, because of their commitment, they have accomplished something, either materially or spiritually. And in those tapasvis, Krishna says, I am tapaha. I am the austerity in the austere people. I am the saintliness in the saintly people. Therefore, tapasvishu tapahacha asmi. So now, if you study these 2 verses, Krishna has covered all the Panchabhutas. Prithvi, Jalam, Agni, Akasha, Vayu. Of course, he has not probably talked about Prithvi, he talked about Jalam, Agni, Akasha. Vayu, we have to supply. Basically, he has talked about all the bhutas, the elements. So, in short, the message that he is conveying is look upon the five elements themselves as Ishvara. And that's why, we have got five temples. Each temple dedicated to one bhuta. Akasha Lingam in Chidambaram, Vayu Lingam in Kalahasti, Agni Lingam in Tiruvannamalai, Jala Lingam in Jambukeshwaram, that is Tiruna, Tiruna,
Kaval.
sorry?
Kaval.
Kaval. Yeah, I'm good. Not forgetting that name. And Prithvi Lingam in Kanchipuram. What does it mean? I learned to look or see the five elements themselves as Ishvara's manifestations. And all these indicate what? The attitudinal change is slowly coming. Then next Krishna says, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam viddhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. Hey Partha, O Arjuna, Viddhi Mam, may you know me. Sanatanam Bhijam, to be the eternal. Sarva Bhutanam, of all beings. Buddhihi Asmi, I am the intelligence. Buddhimatam, of the intelligent. Aham Tejaha, I am boldness. Tejasvinam, of the bold. Aham Tejasvinam, Tejasvinam Aham. Yeah. So I am the boldness of the bold. So the Anvaya of this sloka is He Partha, Viddhi Mam, Sanatanam Bhijam, Sarva Bhutanam, Buddhihi Asmi, Buddhimatam Aham Tejah, Tejasvinam, Buddhimatam, Buddhihi Asmi Buddhimatam. That should be the Anvaya. Then Aham Tejah Tejasvinam. That should be the Anvaya. Okay. So we have done the word meaning also. Now look at the second line of the sloka. Buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejasvinamaham. Buddhir buddhimatam asmi. I am the very intelligence principle behind the intelligent people. But there are some people, who are extraordinarily intelligent. And they are known, in fact, their glory. They are famous because of their intelligence. Krishna says that intelligence I am. That means what? Because of my blessing alone, the intelligent people are enjoying their intelligence. Then he says, Buddhihi atam, that we have done, Buddhi. Aham tejah tejasvinam. I am the boldness, the valor in the valorous people, because of which a person is able to overcome obstacles. That requires courage. You should not, when you face obstacles in life, It will serve no purpose if you just accept it. Okay, this is my fate. I can't do anything about it. That is not what our free will is given to us. When you face obstacles, you must have the courage to face the obstacles, find out ways and means to overcome the obstacles. And that is called boldness, parakramah. Swami Paramathananda calls it the bulldozer capacity. You all know bulldozer. Anything comes, it pushes and goes forward. Whereas, our car or, two-wheelers, etc. If there is some obstacle, they will slow down or stop. Similarly, there are some people, slightest suspicion of obstacle, they will withdraw. But then there are some people who have the capacity, come what may, they conquer the obstacle and go forward. So parakramaha, akramaha here means overcoming. Para means obstacles. So parakramaha means overcoming obstacles. Human or non-human. And that is called tejas, brilliance or boldness. And that parakramaha in people also I am. And from all these things, we have to derive a certain important corollary also. Because the essential nature of everything is God. If we have got any of these virtues like boldness, intelligence, austerity, knowledge, if any one of us has got these virtues, we should remember that they do not really belong to me, to us. They are all manifestation of God. Of course, in normal Laukika parlance, we may say we are blessed with God, blessed by God. But what is that blessing? The blessing is in the very form of God Himself. And therefore, the credit does not go to me, it goes to the Lord alone. And therefore, the more I appreciate God, the more humble I will become. Humility born of knowledge will remain, but without proper understanding, humility will only be a show. Outside they will be humble, inside they will be arrogant. Real humility will come only when this is understood. And that is why in Kenopanishad, we have this story. The story goes like this. When the Devas got victory over Asuras, even they become arrogant, claiming that they have attained, accomplished victory. And then the story goes, Bhagavan came in the form of a mysterious yaksha. The mysterious god. So to find out what this mysterious yaksha is, first Agni Bhagavan comes, Agni Devata comes. And the Lord places a small blade of grass and asks Agni to burn it. The arrogant Agni thinks that, oh, I have got infinite heat. I can raise my temperature, and this is just a dry blade of grass. And Agni goes on trying, but the blade of grass doesn't burn. Then he recognizes that the heat principle in Agni is Bhagavan's glory. Similarly, Vayu Devata comes. Already, so much air is there. Whenever Vayu Devata comes, we all know he will not only come alone, he will bring, wind at high speeds. Even tornado and cyclones, etc., he will bring. So Bhagavan asks, Bhagavan in the form of Yaksha asks, what can you do? This is the small blade of grass. He said, what? In 1 second I will blow it away. So then Vayu attempts to blow that blade of grass, miserably fails. So all these to show that the essential nature of everything is Bhagavan only. And therefore, if you get any degree, any honor, Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan, Bharat Ratna, etc., anything glorious you get, when somebody praises you, better remember God. And even if you get any of those awards, etc., place it in front of the God and thank God. It is because of your glory, because of your grace, that I have been selected for this. So understanding Ishvara completely will give you humility. Ignorance of Ishvara will lead to arrogance. Now the question is it that simple? It is not that simple. To understand Ishvara and then to change your attitude to see Ishvara in everything requires a lot and lot of practice. But it is not impossible. Mahatmas have attained that humility which they have only because of this. So, if we also want to go on the spiritual path, move forward in the spiritual path, that is what we have to do. Some of the things we already know. For example, I've seen many people, when they see the sunrise, they will see sun as God and do namaskara. Sandhya Vandanam itself says Nama to all four, this thing, Urdu, no, Namaha to the Antariksham, Namaha to Bhumi, everything, Sandhya Vandanam is a complete package mantra, which helps you to see everything as Ishvara. So this is the first advantage, that by seeing everything as Ishvara, you will progressively gain more and more humility. And humility is the one, what does humility mean? That means you are diluting your ego. Your arrogance today is because of your ego. So arrogance you replace with humility, you are surrendering your ego also to Bhagavan. This is one advantage. And the second advantage is, which is equally important, that when I see glory in any other person also, I will never become jealous. Because when does jealousy come? When I compare my glory, which is not there, my assumed glory, to another person's glory. And I find that the society is glorifying that person more than me. That person is selected for some award, for some better degree, better salary, better appreciation. All this, one of the poisonous, what I will call impurity, jealousy, which is there that comes up in our antakarana, which is terrible. In fact, jealousy is the worst form of diseases because it burns you eternally. Even when you go to sleep, if you are jealous, that event which made you jealous will go on repeating in your mind and kill your sleep also. It will take away your peace of mind. Anger is also not that bad, but jealousy can last for a very long period. But when I appreciate God, I can never have jealousy because I will immediately know all the glories of everybody belongs to Bhagavan only. If I can sing well, of course, which I cannot, if I start singing, that will be the last Bhagavad Gita class we will have. Or anybody in this students, they sing well. That singing capacity, capability is also glory of Bhagavan only. So all these things we have to start seeing as glory of Bhagavan. And when we see that, not only our ego it gets diluted, also the impurities in our antakarana, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all these impurities, shadripuhu, they also get diluted. Swami Paramatananda says that there is a water tank. And from the water tank, there are some big pipes which come and some small pipes, narrow pipes. Eventually, in all pipes, water only comes. And the water comes from one source only, which is the water tank. Similarly, all the glories of the pipe, whether big pipe says, oh, I can carry more water, or the narrow pipe, oh my God, I can only carry little water. Doesn't matter as long as that water is there, the glory is all from the tank only, overhead tank. From there only everything is coming. So that water tank is Ishvara. So wherever I see any glory, let me learn to congratulate. Let me learn to appreciate. If a person sings better than me, I go and appreciate. I am able to see Lord's glory in you. Therefore, humility is one result. Non-jealousy or appreciation is another benefit of Ishvara Jnanam. Then we come to the last line. The first line, sorry. Krishna says, Sarva Bhutana Sanatanam Bijam Vidhi. In fact, this line should come in the end because this is the summing up of the whole sloka of whatever he is teaching. But anyway, Krishna's choice, or maybe Vyasacharya's choice, he gave it right in the beginning of the sloka. Maybe there must be a reason for meters, reason, or some reason must be there. So anyway, Krishna gives it here. Bijam means the seed, the primal cause, basic cause. Because we use the word primal cause because causes can be divided into two types. One is the intermediary cause or relative cause, and another is the ultimate or absolute cause. For example, our parents are the cause of us. Therefore, certainly they are karanam, but they are not the ultimate cause. They are intermediary cause because they themselves have got their cause. Our grandparents are their cause, and our grandparents also have their cause. Therefore, whatever is an intermediary cause, that is called apekshika karanam. But God is not apekshika karanam, but it is the absolute primal cause. And how do you define primal cause? The absolute cause is that which is the cause of everything, but which itself is not the cause of anyone. Therefore, causeless cause. God is parentless parent, fatherless father of the creation, motherless mother of the creation. causeless cause of the creation. And therefore Krishna says, Sarva Bhutanam Bijam, which is Sanatanam. Sanatanam means which does not have a beginning. Anadi Karanam. So never ask the question, what is the cause of God? Because whenever we talk of cause, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, etc., finally God, a logical question in any mind will be, what is the cause of God? And Krishna knows that you will ask this question. Therefore, he puts the adjective Sanatanam Bhijam. I am the eternal cause. I am the causeless cause of the creation. That's what he says. Okay. So, in this sloka, he has actually explained, Krishna will continue. कारणभूत ईश्वरस्य गुणः कार्यभूते प्रपंचे अनुवर्तते. So he will come to that idea that he is the Chetana Tattvam in every being. So at the initial stages, we learn to look at the positive side of the creation, learn to appreciate it as Ishvara until we get maturity. And once we are sufficiently mature, we will be able to expand enough to include not only the positive, but also the negative. That's why, when we come to the 11th chapter, we will realize this. And in short, we will be able to look at the totality of the creation, which requires a lot of maturity. Because normally, our attitude is, okay, all that is good in the creation, I accept it as Bhagavan. But how can I accept the negative things in the creation as Bhagavan's manifestation? This is the big problem. Even death, we are unable to see death also as a manifestation of Bhagavan. Despite the fact that we say Kala Devata, Yamadharma Raja, all that stories we are told. Death is nothing but a process in the creation. Shrishti, Sthiti, Laya. It's a process. But still, do we have that attitude towards death? Very difficult to get that attitude. And therefore, as we progress, we will come to a stage where all positive things, negative things in the creation, we will learn to look at that as Ishvara only. For that, as I said, we require sufficient maturity. And the beauty is, once we are sufficiently mature, we will find that what we looked upon as part of creation as negative, really speaking, is not negative also. It is also as beautiful and required as the positive things. In fact, positive and negative are not opposed to each other. That is the scientific way of approaching. The Shastric way of approaching is positive and negative are complementary pairs. And therefore, we cannot ignore any segment. We cannot hate any segment. Hating a part of creation is immaturity. More we will see in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Thank you.
धन्यवाद जी.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Guruji.
Namaskaram, Hari Om. Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Yes, Girish.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Number one, actually, for the last couple of days, one question is always lingering in mind. That is, opposite values are complementary. This is what we have learned because I am an art of living student, and that
Sound has gone.
He has given five basic principles, and among that, one is opposite values are complementary. And we as a seeker, actually, we are looking for everlasting happiness. Okay. So I was thinking, one enhances the other. Okay. And how come we are actually, instead of accepting that negative also as the manifestation of God, why we are actually focusing on everlasting happiness? This is what I was thinking. But you have indirectly today, you have already touched that subject. I hope that it will get more clarity in the coming days.
Because you see, what determines this? It determines our level of maturity. The more mature we become by study of Shastra, by listening to Mahatmas, all that, more and more we become mature and accept everything. For example, I'll tell you, all our conflicts in our life is within a family because we are not able to accept the other person's habits, other person's attitude, the other person's behavior. We are not able to accept it.
No, fundamental problem is our likes and dislikes.
Our likes and dislikes, because we want the whole world to fit into the formula of what I like, what I dislike.
Absolutely.
That is an immature approach. So as even we get more and more maturity, we will keep aside our raga dvesha and then learn to appreciate everything as Ishvara. And Ishvara, there is no question of not liking Ishvara. Isn't it?
Correct.
So ultimately, when we reach that degree of maturity, these questions will automatically vanish from our mind. That is what it will happen rather. But as I said, all this is all part and parcel of the spiritual journey. We cannot say that after attending some few classes here, few classes there, and all that Upanishad, some 2, 3 Upanishad, we will get that maturity.
No.
Because this immaturity has been there for thousands or crores of janmas. And it is only in this janma we are all trying to make a new beginning. The attitude has been there for us, with us for all the while. So we are trying to make a good new beginning. So even if we are not able to achieve it in this janma, again, promise is there. Next janma, we will somewhere reach it because that's our ultimate goal.
Correct.
That's our
And also, we have already started refining ourselves, our thoughts, our actions, our behaviors.
Yes. We already started refining, and you can see over a period of time. That's what I say, every spiritual, every sadhaka should monitor his attitude, his behavior every day. And whenever there is a red light, burning, whenever you do something wrong, red light should burn. Oh, nothing wrong in you doing wrong, because you are doing something wrong because of your past orientation. But that flash should come. Oh, this is not correct. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have said this. Okay, next time I will be more careful. So like that, slowly, step by step, we have to improve ourselves.
And that ego, slowly, that also diminishes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You are a big teacher. Okay, Vedanta teacher. You go to a sabha. There are a lot of people are there. Nobody bothers to look at you. right? Then you, oh my God, I am some Vedanta teacher. I have come here and nobody is even bothering to look at me. What nonsense, that kind of an attitude. It is all immature attitude. It doesn't matter. Everybody is having their own, this thing. They may not even notice. Many of them would not have noticed you are coming. Many of them would not even know who you are. So your being a Vedanta teacher has got no meaning for most people because they know nothing about Vedanta. So in your mind, you should not bother for such things. You must outgrow such expectations.
Correct.
So ultimately, what do you mean by diluting ego? Outgrowing your present samsaric, way of looking at things. One by one, you outgrow. You say, okay. So as a child, I was very fond of my toys. I have outgrown that. As a young college student, I was very fond of seeing movies every day. I have outgrown that.
Okay.
Then as a married person, then I was very fond of taking my family to restaurants and whatnot, dramas and things like that and all. I have outgrown that. So more and more maturity come, and while you are outgrowing, you are growing into more and more of Ishvara in you. You are bringing more and more Ishvara into you, replacing Ishvara or replacing all these things with Ishvara.
True.
So when the process is complete, Aham Brahmasmi will be what will be
Correct,
remaining.
That IN minus has to be gone
Yes.
slowly.
Slowly it has to go.
It has to.
Consciously it has to go. So we must not say by chance. No, you must
No,
work
no, no, no.
towards it.
Correct,
Must work
correct.
towards it.
You have to work for
Work for
it. You have to- And you were talking about the significance of Gayatri. Okay, is it possible to give the real meaning of Gayatri mantra?
Why not? It's very simple.
Okay.
But then Gayatri mantra,
Hmm.
if you actually want the full implication also, that will take 1 or 2 classes.
Okay.
So anyhow, let me see. I will try to include some.
Because that condensation, it
One is
actually.
one is the literal meaning, very easy to say.
Oh, okay.
But then what is the implication of that? That we have to understand from a Vedantic perspective.
Perspective.
So that we have to see, and that will take some time to sort of, bring. That's, as I said, 1 or 2 classes it will take for to present everything. Let me see how best I can tackle it.
Yeah.
I am not giving you a promise that I will do it in the next
No,
class.
no.
I will
It's
note
okay.
it down. Somewhere I will certainly make it a point.
Okay. Because only today that made an impact, how significant this Gayatri mantra is. We know these 4 lines, but I'm totally unaware about Sanskrit, so I don't know the meaning of it at all. But today you told about the 3 condensation of Vedas. Oh, then that made an impact. So I thought, okay, I would like to know more about it. That's all. Any convenient time, and we shall discuss about
Yeah. I will certainly. I'll make a note of it, and then whenever I am ready, I will 1 class or something.
Please.
I will talk about Gayatri.
Hari Om Guruji. Valar. Great. Thank you so much. Good
Hari Om.
night.
Any other question, comments? Not there. Okay, then we can close this.
That the pipe with the water tank, that was another fantastic example.
Sure. Water
The-
tank.
Yeah, water tank with so many pipes
Swami
coming down.
Paramathananda's example, not my example.
Very
I'm
practical.
sharing it with you. That's all. Good
Thank you
example.
so much.
He comes
Yeah.
up with very beautiful examples, and that's why we can give credit to him and then know the example. So
Beautiful.
that's very nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Hari Om.
Thank you very
Hari
much,
Om.
Guruji. Pranam. Thank you for the beautiful
Pranam,
session.
pranam. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Om.
Thank you.
Thank you.